Well, if Jack can get his own segment on this channel, then gosh darn it, so will I. What's up, everybody? My name is Jay, and welcome to a new segment on the channel called What the Bell, where I talk all things sports entertainment, wrestling, whatever you want to call it. And just to give a little background on why I'm doing this, I fell in love with pro wrestling a little over 20 years ago. It's one of the first things I remember watching, and I still watch it to this day. I'm an avid wrestling fan, and it's not just, WWE. I am a fan of the Indies, I'm a fan of New Japan, Ring of Honor, and especially I'm a fan of the Elite. And if you don't know who that is, I'm going to be covering them pretty much all this entire first episode because I think they're the biggest news going on in the wrestling business today. So I'm not going to just cover, WWE. I'm going to cover whatever I feel is the biggest thing going on at the time. And I would really love to know people's feedback on this. I would love to know if you guys would want me to talk about a specific topic, talk about a specific superstar, whatever. Just give me your feedback and I'll see what I can do. So for right now, today's episode is going to be all about All Elite Wrestling, AEW, which is probably the second biggest company coming this year. And I want to get into that right now. So it was announced January 1st of this year that Cody and the Young Bucks, along with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, were going to start their own wrestling organization called All Elite Wrestling. And it was a total bombshell that most people expected, but it still was so exciting to hear once the official announcement happened. I think the reason why it was so big and so welcoming was because for the longest time, people have been looking for something different, something new. And I think with the group of guys that are running this company, it will be different. It will be a quote unquote change. And I feel these are the right guys to do it because if you watch their All In show back in from September, you could tell how much they love this business, how much passion they have for it, and how much they love the fans. I watched All In thinking, man, this wasn't just a great show for the individuals, it was a great show for the fans. And I felt that. Man, it was probably the best show I've ever seen. It wasn't just the in-ring action, the comedy. There was something there for everybody. And you could tell how much they put into it. And it wasn't just because of seeing what happened in their Being the Elite series. Go ahead and if you're not checking that out right now, please do so. They're not sponsoring me for this. I just really wanted to plug them because, man, do they deserve all kinds of attention and all kinds of love because they truly are changing this business. And I have never been so excited for the wrestling business as a whole because they are doing something that really hasn't been done since WCW, which is challenging the mindset of WWE. And I'm not gonna bash WWE because I do watch it. I still watch it. I'm still a fan. And I do not blame the roster that WWE has because to me, and this is my opinion only, I think the roster today, probably the best, most stacked, most talented roster they've ever had. I just think creatively, it's gone way south. I'll probably get into that in a different episode. But for right now, I just want to talk All Elite Wrestling. So when the announcement happened, everyone was thinking, well, what does this entail? Who's going to come? Is this another indie promotion? What's going to happen? I think once it was said that who they're partnering with, which is, I can't pronounce his first name, but I know his last name is Khan. He's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He owns a major soccer team in Europe. This guy is a billionaire going on a trillionaire. The reason he's a part of this is because of Chris Jericho, who, if you don't know who Chris Jericho is, let me give you a little background. He's a legend in this business. He's been around for almost 30 years, wrestled all over the world, wrestled for every major company, and the dude's just awesome. I'm a huge fan of his. I think with Chris Jericho being added, or not really added, but being on board with All Elite Wrestling really made this promotion serious. And so I think that's why Mr. Khan decided to partner with them and gave the runs and the ball to Cody and the Bucks and Kenny. I really believe that this company is going to be the competition that WWE desperately needs, that they haven't had since WCW. And I think that unlike WCW, AEW will thrive because they won't make the same mistakes. Because you have a group of guys who want to give back and want to produce the best show out there. And I truly believe that they're going to do this because, man, that roster that they have already announced, they haven't even announced their full roster. And some of the guys that they've signed already, wow. You're talking about Pentagon. You're talking about Phoenix, Pac, Dr. Britt Baker, and that's just to name a few. I can't name them all off the top of my head right now, but I'm just getting excited. I'm getting some goosebumps right now talking about that, thinking of all the matchups that's going to happen. I guess to close out this first segment, I just kind of wanted to say, man, is this not the best time to be a pro wrestling fan? Because there's just so much going on, so much good stuff going on, that you no longer need to just watch WWE and think that's what pro wrestling is. There's so much out there. And you don't even have to watch AEW. You can watch New Japan, you can watch TNA, you can watch Ring of Honor. There's so much and so many things out there. I'm sure if you just looked hard enough, there's something out there for you. So in closing, all I have to say is, what the bell?